Hello and welcome to your NASA Weekly Update for the week commencing Monday the 8th of June 2026, brought to you by SEKO, your no-nonsense end-to-end logistics partner. It's Gary here, and yes, as you can see, we now have a presenting sponsor for this podcast, and it is indeed our friends over at SEKO. So thank you very much to our sponsorship and marketing director, Stephen Johnson, for getting this over the line. And of course, thank you to SEKO and in particular Tristan Martin, the managing director, for making this a reality. Thanks for your trust in us as being a value-added partner to you and the organisation. So what you'll see here is SEKO branding around about the NASA podcast. If you watch on video, you'll get to see some SEKO branding, certainly on the thumbnail at the beginning and the end of the podcast, and maybe somewhere else. I don't know. We'll see what that looks like. We'll get better as we go on here, but definitely it's already on the thumbnail for this week as I just created it. And here's a funny thing. This is the second time I'm recording this podcast this week, because the first time I recorded in audio only. It changed the default on the app that I use, Riverside, to go to audio only. I've recorded hundreds of videos, and every single one has been audio and video, and this time it decided to default to audio. So that's a wee bit inconvenient, because I really don't have a lot of time this week, because I am leaving to go to Destination Narsa on Wednesday morning, and I have a million things to get done between now and then. Anyway, back to more pressing and important matters. As I mentioned, it's Destination NASA this week, or the NASA convention, or Nashville 2026, whatever you want to call it. It's absolutely fine. I really should lock in on just one thing for 27. I'll do that so that I don't create any further confusion. Yes, all the planning, all the logistics are done and dusted, and it's now execution time. It's now go time. Anything that we've missed is probably going to be inconsequential to your visitor experience, I'm fairly sure, but there's usually the odd wee thing. But the one thing I really wanted to talk about this week is just the incredible level of effort that's been put in by everyone behind the scenes. Specifically, Brian Campbell, of course, he takes as the convention director, of course, takes the convention on head on, puts it all on his back and runs with it, ably supported with Alan McWatt doing a lot of the admin work and making sure the contracts are right and representing NASA in the way. But the key thing that I really thought about as I was preparing for this week is the fact that we have 5 of the 8 NASA Executive Committee are brand new. This is the first year of being involved. In fact, not even a full year has elapsed just yet at the time of recording. And that's no mean feat to be able to do a survey, to receive the results of the survey, to then pick a destination, to then go through, do everything they need to do to learn their day job in terms of what their portfolio is for the NASA executive and on behalf of the NASA membership, of course, and then organise an event. And it's one thing attending an event, but then when you actually get involved in the details, in the background, in all of the humdrum that has to go on to get these events to be successfully pulled off, it's a different experience whatsoever, and I'm sure every single one of them would say the exact same thing. So for us to now get to actual event week, to get to really the rubber hitting the road, we're in a situation where you get to see the fruits of your labour. You get to really go down and look and see and feel what your involvement has manifested itself into in terms of an enjoyable event for everyone. So yeah, not an unusual situation where you have more than half the team are brand new and we're still trying to give you that same quality experience. And I'm certain that everyone going there is going to have an absolutely brilliant time. So really looking forward to that. My understanding is maybe that some or one of our partners from SEKO might actually be at the event on Friday. So we'll get an opportunity to, or Thursday, or whatever day it was maybe, but we'll get an opportunity to meet them and maybe have a beer and talk about maybe some further collaboration in the future. But very excited to get to that spot where we have some recognisable support from outside and they see the value in what it is we're doing. So yeah, onto the game segment. We just really basically had the Scotland final warm-up game for this past weekend, where Lawrence Shanklin once again got on the score sheet. My understanding is he also maybe created an assist for someone else as well. He's not doing his starting berth chances any harm whatsoever with his lead up to the international friendlies prior to the game starting. So it's going to be interesting to see if he gets that starting spot or not come Saturday's first opening game for Scotland. And how can you get a first opening game? It's just the opening game for Scotland, isn't it? But you know what I mean. So yeah, I'm not sure if Finlay Curtis and John Suter got any time. I didn't pay any attention to it. I'm not a friendlies guy at all, so it's not just because it's Scotland. So we'll see what that one looks like. But less than a week to go now, folks, until Scotland get their campaign underway, and who knows what that looks like. In fact, that's actually a great segue into the shout-outs for this week, because I did want to wish the whole Scotland camp, the squad, particularly, all the very best for this campaign. It's always a lot more exciting, a lot more interesting when Scotland are there, and Steve Clarke has done an immense job of getting us back to being, staple on the international tournament scene, which is great. Not a huge fan of him as a guy or a manager or such, but credit where it's due. He's done what he was setting out to do. And with this squad of players, even with Billy Gilmour unfortunately missing out, he has a great chance of breaking the duck of never getting to the knockout stages of a major tournament for Scotland. It's incredible that we've never managed, not once ever, to do that. And with this existing squad, with the way that we qualified, that incredible night against Denmark, with the enthusiasm, with the energy that's built, and with the general good feel around what we're doing, you just never know. You never know. Hopefully we don't come a cropper against some of the teams that Haiti, for example, that we would be expecting to beat, and we got off to a good start, and then see where the subsequent two games get us. We need to accumulate as many points as we can prior to the Brazil game, so that we don't need to rely on something. But then, who knows? It's going to work out the way it's going to work out. But yeah, all the very, very best, obviously, specifically to the Rangers players who are part of the squad, but to everyone. It would be good for the team and the country to get a boost and really have an exciting tournament. And Rangers, on the Rangers front, Rangers did launch a kit last week, but not the home kit. It was the away kit this time, an off-white kit that's synonymous with some of the architecture in and around Ibrox there. My first reaction to it, being a fashion aficionado, as you absolutely know, is it's kind of plain. It's maybe one that I need to see in person to go, oh, you know what, I really like that. But it wasn't making me kind of go, oh, please take my money, Rangers, for that. So we'll see what that looks like. And I'm not 100% sure what happened. I did hear on Heart and Hand that there was some issue with sizings, or maybe availability of certain sizes or styles for the home kit, which has produced this wee bit of a delay. But I was really hoping that it would come out prior to the convention, prior to Destination Narsa. And then I would get someone to bring it over. In fact, David Edgar, our MC, had said that he would go and do a run and pick it up for us. And it doesn't look like that's going to happen unless, and Rangers do keep these things a wee bit close to their chest, unless there is an announcement tomorrow and we can maybe have a last minute rush up to the Ibrox Superstore and get the things there. But yeah, interesting that they went with the away kit for now. Good that the away kit was actually ready to go and they could hit that revenue window, which I'm sure was part of the business plan overall. But yeah, we'll see what the new one looks like. I haven't seen the new one at all, and I know that there was a bit of a leak on social media a couple of weeks back. I'm not really on social media that much. I'm on LinkedIn every day, but you typically don't get leaks on LinkedIn. It's all more business side of things. So yeah, we'll see what that looks like. I did also want to just acknowledge and put out a shout out to Christian Eriksen and wish him best wishes on his most recent collapse on a football field, I should say, for his country. It's so odd, so worrying. Must be worrying for him and his family, of course, and then for everyone surrounding the camp with Denmark, and then of course people being there, experiencing, the kids that might have seen and experienced it too. It looks like this was less severe in some way than the previous episode back in, what was that, 2021, was it? Where he had that event where he had to get resuscitated on the field. But I don't know if it's related to the football or it's not. I don't know what that looks like in terms of his ongoing participation in the game. I mean, he's playing international football, so he's playing at a very, very high level, the highest level that you can play at, with a very, very good team in Denmark. So who knows what that means for his playing career overall. But the main thing is his health and the fact that I just did read a headline prior to recording, the first time and the second time, that we are in a situation where he was home already, conscious and home and doing well. So hopefully that's the case, and he's in good shape to continue his recovery, and I guess we'll find out what that means in terms of his overall career as it starts out. And just another shout out for the Rangers Ladies Lunch, which is on the 21st of August. I haven't seen anything that says it's sold out yet, so I'll keep mentioning it until it's sold out. £75 per ticket, and you get a whole bunch of festivities that day, and then you get to leave with a Harrods Beauty bag or gift bag with a whole bunch of stuff in that too. So I'll keep mentioning that, as I say, until I get the note that it is sold out. And in terms of your Destination NASA, your convention update for this week, it's now 3 days to go, and 3 days for me anyway, as I travel on Wednesday afternoon, get to the airport Wednesday morning. And yeah, it's coming up quick here, so it's one of these things. It's going to have that wee surreal feel to it when I'm back at the hotel and you're kind of you're seeing the sharks walking past and things like that, and you're like, right, we're here. This is going to be an incredible time. There are still some tickets available. We did put individual nights on sale last week, like I talked about on the pod last week, and not one has been sold. We weren't asked to put them on, so maybe people will just wait up to and including the day or the evening of the event to get their tickets organised. But that's kind of funny, that we put it on and there's nothing there. But we'll see what that looks like. It's good to provide that flexibility as close as possible to the event too. Just a reminder, we have Mark Walters, we have Derek Ferguson, we have Scott Nisbet, and we have Davy Robertson joining us. From the club, we have Jim Gillespie, our CEO, we have Fraser Thornton, our Executive Director, and we have Greg Marshall, our SLO. From an entertainment perspective, we have our DJ Angry Bear. Our MC is, of course, Mr. David Edgar from the Heart and Hand podcast. We have Stuart Hay from The Journey Back, ably supported by Rebecca Auchterlonie. And we have David Mason, Rangers historian, to talk about the story of Rangers. And for one night only, we have Danny Magic there, and that's on Thursday night. I believe Danny is going to be there. Please spend some time with this guy. He will knock your socks off with the things that he is able to do on the Magic front, hence the name Danny Magic. And we do have still some spots available for our David Cooper Memorial Top Golf event, which is on Friday morning. If you are wanting to join us and get a wee bit of up-close personal time with our VIPs, most of them are coming along to spend the time with us on Friday morning. It's going to be a lot of fun. The bar's going to be open, and that usually ends up making things a wee bit more fun, doesn't it? Now, here's a thing. Here's an update that I think you might be interested in. Well, certainly folks from my camp and from North America in general. We have TENNENT's Lager available for Nashville 2026. Yes, the Cambria Hotel Midtown have got TENNENT's Lager in for us, especially for us. Brian Campbell went on a crusade to say, please get it in, please get it in, please get it in, and he would not let it go. He was like a dog with a bone, and he got the bone because we were told just last week that they do indeed have TENNENT's Lager in. I hope that doesn't mean that they got a 6-pack in there and it's gone, and it's all probably already gone, because I know for a fact that there are people there already starting their holiday a wee bit earlier. So we'll see what that looks like. But, I don't know if I imagine it's not on tap. It's probably in cans. And I'm excited by that. I do like TENNENT's Lager. I could imagine it's not been super exciting for folks from Scotland, particularly maybe the UK at large, because you can get it anytime and there's no novelty factor. There's a novelty factor for us. So that is a good thing. Just a reminder that it's a Western theme on Friday. There is no need for a suit or fancy dress up or anything like that. Just come as casual as you need. That was the feedback we got from the survey last year, and that's what we've put into place. We actually just let the VIPs know today, essentially, to say, by the way, just in case it wasn't clear, there is no need to bring a suit. There is no need to get all formal for our grand banquet on Friday. It's a casual feel, and if you can participate, you can do so via Western wear, and you get that organised. I just ordered from Amazon just this morning what they call here plaid shirt, which is a check shirt to everyone back home. So that should arrive tomorrow. Then I can get it packed, and then I'll wear it on Friday to kind of participate. I don't have anything else other than that cowboy hat or anything like that. So yes, folks, the week has arrived, and I cannot wait to get down there and just get into it. And really hoping, now that we're in a situation where it's a smaller event. There's going to be about 150 folks there in total. And hopefully as past president now, in my final year on the NARSA executive, no less, that I have an opportunity to spend some time with people. I did have these romantic notions back in the day where I would be able just to sit down at a random table and introduce myself and say, thanks very much for coming along. Where did you come from? How are you doing? Sometimes put faces to names of people I've been corresponding with. And then I just get so busy at the event. So I'm hoping, with the new executive being there, with Alan doing such a fine job of being president for this year, and Brian, of course, doing magic work on the convention planning, that might create a wee bit of space. So please do stop me and say hello if you have an opportunity to do so. Maybe you don't want to, and that's okay as well. I understand that. So, but it would be nice to speak to as many folk as I possibly can. So we'll see what that looks like. In terms of other NARSA business, we did indeed have our AGM, which was also a wee bit of a tip of the hat to the outputs from the survey that we conducted after the Kissimmee Convention in Florida last year, where there's a lot of admin, there's a lot of business, a lot of time taken up with the business. So we thought it would be good to just have the AGM, get it out of the way prior to the convention, prior to the event in and of itself. So we did that on Saturday, and it was superbly managed and chaired by Alan McWatt, our president, and it was, in comparison to the 2025 AGM, it was drama-free. It was like polar opposites of actually what happened, because everyone went there with an open mind, and everyone went there with no agenda, and we had a smooth conversation. We had some topical conversations on the ability to be able to continue as NARSA president, which was voted through. If you want to do that for a consecutive term, that wasn't allowed previously. And we also talked about membership tiers and status and how RTV fits in with that, and the ability, or the intention of NARSA clubs to support Rangers. That's the whole point, because in my mind, I didn't really talk about this at the AGM in and of itself, but I've talked about it for years. There's a difference between being a fan and being a supporter. Being a supporter, you're going to do everything you can to support the club, and that would include taking Rangers TV instead of pirating a Rangers TV feed, which many clubs are unfortunately doing now. So that was a conversation that we had, and further conversations and investigations have to be had and brought back to the membership as well. So kind of poorly attended, only 11 clubs represented, which was a wee bit of a shame. That's less than half of our membership, but maybe a sign of the times. The AGM isn't very fun. I thought after the drama of last year's AGM and the subsequent EGMs that we had to have to get things ironed out, that people might have been a wee bit into kind of going and seeing, I wonder if there's going to be something the same this year. Thankfully there wasn't, and that was through pure preparation and through the attendees and their intentions as well. So it was a good time. And one of these ones, sometimes I end up that, after an AGM, feeling kind of flat, that we didn't really get much done. There wasn't a lot of dialogue and such, but there was really spirited conversation from a lot of people on that, and that's energising for me. And even if there is a wee bit of conflict, there wasn't any conflict on the meeting on Saturday, but you get that opportunity to know we're actually talking about things that we care about. We're actually making progress and moving forward, which is absolutely terrific, and that's the whole point. So I felt energised after this one. It was good. So that really is the final admin hurdle that we had to navigate prior to the event this week, and it was done with some grace and some real true professionalism as well. So well done to everyone involved in getting organised for that. In terms of the communication prior to recording, the first time there was no Gers guide out there. I actually did that. I made that mistake on the first recording as well, I remember. So no Gers guide for this week. Not a lot happening in terms of the team front and such, so we could just move on from that. Just another reminder, if you're interested in putting yourself forward for the fan advisory board, the deadline for that, for the applications, is this Friday, the 12th of June. After that, they will go through shortlisting by the end of the month, and then there are 3 interview slots set out for the 9th of July, the 14th of July, and the 15th of July. That's Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then they'll make a decision, and then they will onboard and have the new fan advisory board in its entirety ready for the beginning of next season. If you have the time, the energy, the skills and expertise and the desire to do so, I would thoroughly encourage you to go ahead and do that. As I mentioned last week, or maybe a couple of weeks ago, I was part of the official Rangers fans board back 10, 11 years ago, something like that. And I really enjoyed the experience. It was quite a difficult thing to do because of where the club were at the time and the dynamics that we had in play. And it ultimately ended up not fulfilling the the overall objectives that we were intending to fulfill. But it's still a great experience. Great to be on the inside and create some meaningful change. I've often and always said that I can't really affect meaningful change from the outside. So I would much rather put my name up for something if I genuinely care about it. I am not putting my name up for this one. I have enough on the go, but it's one of these things that I think you would get a valuable experience if it was something you were genuinely seriously considering and thinking about. Just another reminder to like and subscribe to this on our YouTube channel, and also to follow us or like us or whatever the nomenclature is, whatever the behaviour is, on our TikTok and Instagram. That's Narsa Comms, COMMS on that. Yeah, a wee bit of a shorter one since it's the second time I've done it today, and getting obviously, I feel like I've got 500 things to do prior to flying on Wednesday, so I hope to get them done. This is one of the 500, so 499 to go. But I would, as always, like to take this opportunity to thank you very, very much for taking the time to tune in, and please do share it with someone that you think might enjoy it. And until next week, thank you again to our sponsors at SEKO. Thank you to everyone who's been involved in going to make this event. I'm just going to acknowledge, I don't know what type and style of Gary that you're going to get next week at this time, roughly when I'm recording the podcast. I'm fairly sure, if nothing else, I'm going to sound a wee bit different, and we'll see. I might even get some footage that I can splice into next week's podcast and see how it goes from there. But I'll be here. That's one guarantee, and you'll get what you get. You get what you pay for. I guess that's probably the best way to say it, isn't it? But who knows what sort of fun and hilarity is going to ensue this week. I can guarantee everyone going there, you're going to have a great time. I am absolutely going to have a ball when I'm there as well. So until next week, please do take care of yourself and all the very best. Okay, follow.